What's up, y'all? Another Bible study, Bible reading, 1 Corinthians 3. And I, brethren, could not speak to you as spiritual men, but as men of flesh, as to infants in Christ. See, he's saying they were still living in the flesh, not by the Spirit. So he couldn't speak to them as those truly in the faith, mature in the faith. I gave you milk to drink, not solid food, and you were not yet able to receive it. He just gave them the basics of the gospel. The basics of the gospel and turning from sin. And they weren't ready for it. Indeed, even now you are not yet able, for you are still fleshly. For since there is jealousy and strife among you, are you not fleshly? And are you not walking like mere men? For when one says, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollos, are you not mere men? See, they were still walking in the flesh. They were still sinning. They weren't focused on God. What then is Apollos? And what is Paul? Servants through whom you believed, even as the Lord gave opportunity to each one. I planted, Apollos watered, but God was causing the growth. See, Paul gave them the basic gospel. Apollos tried to give them more, tried to build them up in the faith, edify them. But it's God that causes the growth in faith. So then neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but God who causes the growth. See, he's trying to make a point to them that him and Apollos are nothing, and they don't need to be looking up to them. They need to be looking to God. It's like nowadays a lot of people look up to their pastors, look up to certain people who are higher in faith than them instead of looking to God. Now he who plants and he who waters are one, but each will receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are God's fellow workers, and you are God's field, God's building. According to the grace of God which was given to me, like a wise master builder, I laid the foundation, the gospel, and another is building on it, helping them build up in the faith. But each man must be careful how he builds on it. For no man can lay a foundation other than the one which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if any man builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each man's work will become evident. For the day will show it, because it is to be revealed with fire. And the fire itself will test the quality of each man's work. Now this seems to me to be speaking about the tribulation, because that's the real test. That's the real time of testing, to show whether someone is truly in the faith or not. Because if you just have a weak faith, if someone built on that foundation of the gospel of Jesus Christ with hay or straw, instead of something stronger, something better, the tribulation is the real test of every man's faith. And the way he's speaking to them about this It almost seems to me, as in the video I made called Called Out, or Caught Up, when I was speaking about all believers being caught up in the sky with God, with Jesus, and then some being cast back down to go through the tribulation. And the way he's speaking about this with them. Let me read a little bit more of this. If any man's work which he is built on it remains, he will receive a reward. If any man's work is burnt up, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. I don't know, man. This is kind of making me feel like, because the Bible speaks so much about the tribulation time, would that be only for us in this day that are going to go through it? Or are all believers going to be caught up in the air? And all believers who weren't ready from the resurrection and the rapture cast back down to go through the tribulation? I don't know. Do you not know that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If any man destroys the temple of God, God will destroy him. For the temple of God is holy, and that's what you are. So we're the temple of God. And this isn't speaking about, I don't believe this is speaking about physical destruction of the body, but more spiritual destruction. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you thinks that he is wise in this age, wise according to this world, knowledge of this world, worldly knowledge, he must become foolish, so that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness before God. For it is written, He is the one who catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the reasonings of the wise, that they are useless. So then let no one boast in men, only in God. Everything is from God. All understanding, everything. The understanding, don't matter, we have a college degree, think we know everything about the world. That understanding is foolishness to God. God gives the real understanding. God gives the real wisdom. For all things belong to you, whether Paul, or Apollos, or Cephas, or the world, or life, or death, or present, or things to come. All things belong to you, and you belong to Christ, and Christ belongs to God. See, we're one body as believers. And if we're truly in Christ, we're part of Him, and He's a part of God, the Father. It's all connected. That's the end of 1 Corinthians 3. May God bless you guys.